Tension is a key part of any good game. In poker, you want to win all of the money, but you don't always have the best cards, so you have to bluff. In chess, you want to capture the opposing king, but every piece you move exposes your own monarch to danger. Even in sports like baseball, you want to hit one over the fences, but the pitcher is going to do everything they can to deny you the satisfying crack of the bat. And there's tension in trading card games too. Which cards do you include in your deck? How do you best use your resources each turn? When is the right time to swing out for the win? For one weekend in late March, I got to see this tension play out in the Las Vegas Convention Center at the launch event for a new competitive trading card game from Bandai. Welcome to Magic Arcanum. I'm Ryan Gomez. Behind the scenes is Nicole Burdick, and we're so glad you're here because it's story time, and we're talking about the Immaculate tension of Battle Spirits Saga. Over 500 eager summoners came to Las Vegas to play in the Battle Spirits Saga launch event and chase the top prize of $25,000. The tension started immediately as players had to buy their product on site and create their deck for the event, because this was technically a pre-release and the first opportunity to get cards in hand. You see, Battle Spirits Saga builds upon the proven success of the long-running Battle Spirits card game, which has about 15 years of history in Japan. But this version is all new, making it perfect for gamers looking to climb the competitive ladder. But first, they had to decide what deck list would take them to the final table, and it's here that the Immaculate tension of Battle Spirits Saga starts to show. Things seem simple enough. At launch, the game has 4 colors of cards, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. Red is aggressive. It can quickly deploy powerful spirits and press the attack, threatening to end the game before opponents can set up their own strategy. But the candle that burns bright often doesn't burn long, and if red isn't careful, it can run out of resources before securing the win. I saw a lot of red players use the aptly named and beautifully illustrated Star-Blessed Draw to refill their hand in a desperate search for the last spirit they needed to create a lethal attack step. Sometimes, however, their opponent was ready with some magic of their own. Absolute Ice Shield was an absolute stone wall, and crafty players could freeze game-winning alpha strikes right in their tracks. White is the most defensive color in Battle Spirits Saga. What it lacks in threats, it makes up for in answers, with cards like Dream Blizzard and Valkyrie Mist clearing the board and controlling the tempo of the match. Perhaps it's fitting that the final match of the tournament was between a red deck and a white one, showcasing the fundamental tension between aggro and control, but all 4 colors were represented at the top tables. The summoners running purple made use of the color's control elements. Core Theft and Deadly Balance were premium removal cards, and Dark King Snake Pentacles proved that the starter deck cards could hold their own even among the top 16. Early on in the tournament, I spoke with a player named Josh, who told me he came from California and was excited to test his luck in this launch event. He proudly showed me the deck he had brewed up, which took strong purple magic and blended it with some of White's top-end defensive spirits. Battle Spirits Saga lets you freely mix cards of any color within your deck, but there is a catch. The more you play cards of a single color, the more they can feed off each other and reduce each other's cost. By mixing colors, you are less likely to earn that discount, and you might find yourself paying full price on cards while your opponent smoothly deploys red dragon after red dragon. There's that tension again. Do you stick with a monochromatic deck and enjoy steep discounts on your cards? Or do you address your own weaknesses by adding in cards from another color at the risk of losing the economic arms race with your opponent? Whichever way you go, you'll be paying for things with your cores. These are little gems that give the game a wonderful tactile feel. Spent cores pile up in your trash, and then at the start of each new turn, they sail back across the field with a very satisfying zip as you refresh your resources. The fourth color in the initial set of Battle Spirits Saga is yellow, which generally has weaker spirit cards, but more powerful magic cards, like Royal Potion. This one can refresh all of your spirits that cost exactly 2 cores, and so again, we find ourselves with a terrific bit of tense deck building. How many 2-cost spirits do we need to make this card worth playing? It can be an absolutely busted effect, but only in a deck built to make use of it, and the trade-off is you'll be leaving yourself with almost no top end. Unless, of course, you sneak in other payoffs for your cheap spirits, something like God Beast Behemoth, a massive fabled beast that plows a path for his little friends and lets them charge across the field to rob your opponent of their life cores. And that is how games of Battle Spirits Saga end, in one final bit of tension as you carefully weigh when to go for the throat. Attacking your opponent gets you closer to victory, but each life core you take from them floats down to join their reserve, giving them more resources to use against you on their next turn. This makes every attack step feel meaningful, as players only have 5 life cores to begin with, and an unblocked spirit of any size can knock one loose and set the game spinning in a whole new direction. And I love it! I came to Vegas with the intent of being a passive observer. I wanted to see the cosplayers and interview some folks and try to get my head around the complexities of this game, but I was so welcomed by the community, I couldn't help but dive in myself. So, my brother and I bought a few booster boxes and starter decks of our own, and while we did not enter the actual tournament, we had a great time hanging out in the free play area, testing out card interactions and brewing up as many decks as we could think of with our card pool. Vegas taught me that Battle Spirits Saga is filled with the kind of juicy tension that leads to deep and meaningful strategic decisions. If you are a competitive player, you will love the ebb and flow of this game. And that is before we even talk about the $1 million in cash prizes that they have pledged for this year. Yeah, Vegas was just the start, and they'll have store tournaments that lead up to regionals, that lead up to championships. It's a well-funded and well-organized system, but you don't have to take my word for it. You could ask Austin Summers, who won $25,000 at the launch event thanks to the nearly impenetrable defenses of his white deck. Or you could ask Battle Spirits Saga game designer Mike Elliott, who has over 30 expansions of Magic the Gathering under his belt. He was present to hand Austin his prizes and watched the final round of the tournament from the viewing area with the other players like a proud parent at their kid's recital. From the 500 plus starting players to the top 32 that made day 2 to the final showdown between red and white with 25 grand on the line, it was a weekend full of tension. And tension is a key part of any good game. But it means nothing without the release. For Battle Spirits Saga, the release will be April 28th. That gives you plenty of time to talk to your favorite local game store and make sure they're going to run events that put you on the path to winning your share of that $1 million prize pool. But how will you do it? Will you copy Austin's defensive white strategy? Or will Archangel Michaela carry you to victory on her silvery wings? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the great stories you'll only find here on Magic Arcanum. We'll see ya!